we're going to talk to you a little bit about how to know which zones you're in without necessarily having to have a power meter, or rather just let you know what each power zone feels like in terms of rate of perceived exertion. So the first one is right where we are right now, level 1, almost like you're just riding around town. A lot of people do their recovery rides way too long and way too hard, even though they didn't feel like they were going very hard or particularly long. In recovery terms, usually they are. So a proper recovery ride, real zone 1 ride, is just like this, rolling along. You could be doing it in your jeans and a t-shirt and not breaking a sweat. So that's what you want it to feel like. This is zone 2. It's on a climb, so I'm pedaling a little bit slower than I normally would, which kind of illustrates sometimes how difficult it is to actually stay in zone 2 on a climb, which is why coaches often don't hold you to that unless it's a very shallow, long climb. But as you can see, putting out a bit of effort, breathing hard, not too hard, you can still chat, talk about whatever we need to. Now we have zone 3. This is your tempo zone. This is where you get, it gets a little harder to talk, but still, you know, you can still have a conversation. Although it might be halting, you can still do it. You're going at what you'd call steady pace. That's an illustration of zone 3. Okay. So zone 4 is the power that you can hold for an hour. So if you're doing zone 4 for just a few minutes, it's not necessarily going to seem that hard, but you're still accessing that, bumping up against that lactate threshold. So this is where you get a lot of bang for your buck. It's just underneath zone 4, right at zone 4. So it's definitely hard to talk. It requires a little more focus, concentration, and if you're climbing, you get really sweaty, or at least I do. All right. So this is zone 5. You can usually only sustain that for about 6 or 7 minutes at most. And it's one step above your lactate threshold. You can hear I'm breathing pretty heavily, struggling a little bit to stay on the wheel. But zone 5 is what you're going to be doing in intervals of no longer than 5-6 minutes or so. All right, this is zone 6. It's pretty damn hard. I only go zone 6 for a very short time. Zone 7.